I've got a banger video lined up for you guys. I've taken the time, the painstaking time of going through each one of these wallet categories, figuring out the percentage of wallets, timesing that by how much XRP should be in each wallet. Guys, this took me so much time. I actually did all this before the lawsuit was ending. I was actually planning to do a video about this before the lawsuit ends, and now the lawsuit ends, and now a lot more people have bought an XRP, and so the numbers are different. But we're also going to get into the Shane Ellis theory. I know some of you have been asking me about that, to cover that, and we're going to talk about that here today and how all of this kind of goes together, and I'm going to take you on a journey through all of this and all of the work. So let's start with the Shane Ellis theory, and we're going to get into Ripple not being able to sell to institutions anymore, and maybe that gives banks and central banks and whoever wants to own XRP has to buy it off the open market. So let's talk about this. Check this out. So Shane Ellis theory, XRP to 500. So it says, I've recently posted below, and you have also touched on this subject, and I would like to consider these facts before stating that XRP will take extreme amount of money to reach 589. Please take particular note of this section where I show on Bittrex exchange that transacting small amounts of money can push the price up drastically. Please do not be fooled into thinking that this will take billions of dollars to force the price of XRP to extremes. It will not. This is him talking, right? And he kind of talks through kind of how he's going to get there, what he's going to do. But let me just show you kind of his math here, right? So, and this was years ago, guys. So things might have changed a bit, but just check this out. Bittrex order book currently shows that from about 27 cents to $1.49 would only take 47,000 to do that through XRP fiat pairing. Simply transacting 47,000 at the point will instantly push the price of XRP to $1.49 on that exchange. Bittrex order book currently shows the price of 27 cents to $25. That would take $3,651. And then transacting $3,651 at this point will instantly push the price up to 25 bucks. And then Bittrex order books currently shows the price of 27 cents. To get to $100, they would need to be about $3,743,000 pushed into that. So that's the theory, guys, right? That if banks and institutions or people started buying off the exchanges like crazy, that the price would shoot up. So that is the Shane Ellis theory. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this all below in the description so you can read through this yourself and do some due diligence on your own. But check this out. So here's introducing the newest rich list on the D app, right? So you come into this D app, guys, and this is painstaking. Let me show you this. So we have some information here that we can kind of start dissecting this through and through. So all of these wallets are going to include exchanges, and there's no way for us to physically know which exchange holds which wallet or how many wallets. So that is and understand these numbers can vary, guys. He only give me 10,000 wallets. Let me show you this. So if you go to the rich list down here and you go through here, you can only go up to wallet 1000 or page 1000 out of 10. So this is 10,000 wallets total. On the 1000th page, you're still seeing wallets holding at least 250,000 XRP in each wallet. So what I did was this, guys. Let me show you this. All right. So what I did was I went through the top 100 wallets, right? First, right? So some of the biggest wallets have almost 2 billion XRP right here. So just these wallets right here, guys, was about 10 billion XRP. And I'm kind of adding this as I go. We get the 12 billion here. And then I get down here and we got 15 billion. Okay. And then I added up what's below here, and that's another 9 billion. So, all right. So we get to a total of 25,382,929,181, and that's all just these top wallets. Okay, pretty simple. All right, and then now what you need to do is you need to add up the rest of all of this. And so I tried to put all of this into some AI tools, but all the percentages messed it up, so I had to put it back into AI tools, removing the percentages, then putting it back in to add it all up. And this was just painstaking time. I wish I knew how to use Excel, guys, but I do a lot of this by myself. So just understand that I'm out here grinding, trying to add value to your life. All right. All right. So once I got a certain amount of wallets added up, it reached about 37 billion XRP. Okay. And then what I did next, because I don't have the data here for all of these wallets. I don't have that data. So what did I do? I'll show you. So you see how we have basically 1,569,000 wallets here, 311. Okay. So you have this bar graph, and this bar graph kind of shows us, it goes up to, look, 60% up here, 30% here, and 5% here. So what I did was I said, look at this area right here, 100K to 500K, 500K to 1 million. You could kind of see this, and then 5%'s right here. So you kind of go over. And so what I did was, I went like this. So 500K to 1 million is I used a number of 2%. Okay. 500K 500K to 1 million. It's right here. I'd say this is maybe a little bit over 2%, but I didn't want to overcount. So what I did is I did 500K to 1 million. I used 2%. So I did 2% of this number, which is 31,326 wallets. Then I times that amount by 500,000. Okay, 500,000 tokens, because these are tokens per wallet. I didn't want to use a higher number like 750,000, like the average. I didn't want to use, I just wanted to use the bare minimums for this count because I didn't want to overcount. Okay, so this added up to 15 billion. All right. Then I did the same thing for 100K, 100 to 500K, right? You say you have 100K to 500K. This was a little higher than this one. So what I did was I did 2.25%, right? Undercounting. And that 2.25% of this is this many wallets. You times that by 100K, which is the minimum, you got this number. Fair? Right? And 50K, right? 50K to 100K. 50K to 100K, I used 3%. This could be a little above 3%, but I didn't want to overcount. All right. So I did 3% of this number, which is 47,000 wallets. I times that by 50,000 tokens, and I got this 2.3 billion number. All right. And then so on. 10 to 50K, I used 10K. Right? I used 15% on this one because look, this one is 10 to 50K, 10 to 50K. As you can see, this is 30% is right here, and this looked over 15% for me, right? So what I did was, I think I used like I used 15% on this one. So I didn't want to overcount. So I got 2.3 billion there. 5K to 10K, I used 7%, 5K to 10K, it's just over, this looks like 7% to me. It could be a little bit higher because this goes to 30 now up here, and so on. So a grand total of 56,734,940,847 XRP. Okay, there is this much XRP in escrow. Okay, that may be off limits, right? Because Ripple can't actually sell this XRP now, so it's kind of just hanging out there until more things are settled for the case, right? So there also Ripple. Remember, Ripple bought back $8.4 billion, right? Ripple. This is a real thing. Ripple buys back 8.4 billion XRP after lawsuit started. I can't spell. I can't do anything. Lawsuit started. All right, check this out. So this is real, right? So Ripple did buy back $8.4 billion worth of XRP, right? And then so Bard actually pulled this number up, right? That says I can help you with this list. Ripple has about this much XRP. Now, I have no way of verifying if that is a current number, but it does seem about what it should be, right? Because if you're buying $8.4 billion in XRPs like 30 cents or 35 cents, that's like almost, 17, 20 billion, right? Because if XRP was at 50 cents and you bought back $8.4 billion, that would be 16.8 billion XRP off the open market. You with me? So that is what I use on this list, right? So I use this number that I got from Bard. So really, there's just this amount of XRP that Ripple does not control that is not in escrow. Fair enough, right? And a lot of that XRP is already in our wallets or exchange wallets, right? So you kind of see where I'm getting at here, right? The escrowed XRP is kind of off limits right now. Nobody can touch that. So you really, what is happening here is you only have this much XRP that is, and a good chunk of this is probably on exchanges, right? Let me show you this. So Bard kind of said, but this didn't make sense, right? Because this is like 14 billion plus 11 billion plus 10 billion plus another 10 billion, 7 billion. I added all this up and it came out to like 60, it came up to 70% of the supply, which is impossible, right? Because you have you already have 41 billion in escrow. So some of these numbers might not be accurate, guys. So I just bear with me on that. I have no way of confirming how much actually XRP Ripple has, but it would make sense that they have about 15 billion laying around for ODL usage or to sell to partners through ODL. All right, getting into this, guys. So let me just show you this. So SEC versus Ripple summary judgment order. XRP transactions through digital asset exchanges are not securities. XRP escrow. So we're talking right now about the escrow, about the case, okay? Jimmy Valley put this all together. It's really nice. So per the ruling, Ripple may not sell XRP directly to financial institutions in the United States via a written agreements without violating securities law or asking for a waiver from the SEC. The escrow does not need to be burned, okay? There are no issues just distributed to financial institutions via contracts outside of the US. That means Ripple could actually use the escrowed XRP for things outside of the United States. I mean, it kind of puts the US and banks inside of the US at a disadvantage because they're not able to access that and maybe buy it for a little bit better of a price and then hold on to it, right? But banks are waiting for clear rules. I see a lot of people that say banks have already bought, the institution's already in. No, they're not. No, they're not. A large part of them have no idea. A large part of them are just now getting into crypto or understanding that they need to offer crypto custody services. Banks can't hold crypto on their certain banks are not allowed to hold crypto on their balance sheets yet, right? You need to pass regulation so banks can hold certain assets, right? And I believe certain crypto assets will be tier 1 or tier 2 assets. And what that means basically is something like gold or treasury bonds. Those are tier 1 assets, right? Where you can actually sell those things, get value, and do that, right? And then you can use that value to back up balance sheets at the bank too. So I believe that a lot of banks have not bought yet. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but just think about it, right? Over the last 2 years, you're just now seeing banks wanting to participate because they know there's a lot of money here, right? They saw the Coinbase IPO, right? They saw what they were able to do there. Let's go to institutional sales. Ripple sold XRP directly to institutional buyers, hedge funds, and ODL customers using written contracts. And I think some of these are the written contracts that we're all asking about, the 1,700 NDAs, right? Funds, operations, promoting, and developing use cases for XRP, use of proceeds. It says analysis of the Howey test, investment of money. The institutional buyers invested money by providing fiat or other currencies in exchange for XRP. Common enterprise, horizontal community exists because Ripple pooled the proceeds of institutional sales into a network or bank accounts under the names of its various subsidiaries. Reasonable expectation from profits from Ripple's efforts. Reasonable investors, institutional buyers would have purchased XRP with the exception that they would have earned profits from Ripple's efforts, okay? And it also says Ripple's institutional sales of XRP of unregistered offer and sale of investment contracts in violation of Section 5 of the Securities Act. And now we're going to talk about programmatic sales. Ripple sold XRP on digital asset exchanges programmatically via trading algorithms, which were blind bid-ask transactions. Ripple did not know who the buyer or the purchaser was. So Ripple has these partnerships with exchanges, right? And Ripple can provide XRP for the exchanges to sell. But Ripple doesn't know who's on the other end buying it, or does the exchange, because often you might be buying it and then we have no idea who the person buying it, right? So, and then also once someone has that, if they decide to sell that to somebody else on the exchange, right, then you don't even know who both parties are. So that's what they're talking about there. That was a little confusing, but that's what they're talking about there. It says use of proceeds, fund operations, promoting and developing cases for XRP. It says analysis of the Howey test, no reasonable expectations from Ripple's efforts. The undisputed record does not establish the third Howey prong because programmatic buyers could not have known if their money went to Ripple or another seller of XRP. There you go. Thus, programmatic buyers could not reasonably expect that Ripple would use the capital it received to improve the XRP ecosystem and increase the price of XRP. Okay. It also says holding. It says the record establishes that Ripple did not make any promises or offers with respect to programmatic sales because Ripple did not know who was buying the XRP and the purchasers did not know who was selling it. Therefore, there could be no reasonable expectation of profits based on Ripple's efforts. The programmatic sales of XRP did not constitute the offer and sale of investment contracts. That's great freaking news. And it says other distributions. Ripple distributed XRP as a form of payment for services, including as employees' compensation, right? So this is like people that work for Ripple, they bonuses, things like that. They give them XRP. I would have loved to work for Ripple and get all that XRP. And it says distribution of XRP sales by the type. It says other 29, institutional 35, programmatic 36, right? It's a good, nice little bit there. And then it also says the other distributions do not satisfy the first prong of Howey that have been an investment of money as part of the transaction or scheme. The record shows that the recipients of XRP and other distributions did not pay money or some tangible or definable consideration to Ripple. Therefore, there are no investment of money that makes Ripple's other distributions constitute the offer of a sale of investment contracts. Awesome. It says Larson and Garden House guys, understand Chris Larson and Brad, we need to stay behind them. I know we got our victory right now, but these guys are still going to be battling it out. And me and you and everybody else, we need to stand by Ripple, stand by Brad, and stand by Chris. All right. please. And it says Larson's and Garlinghouse sales were programmatic sales on various digital asset exchanges through blind bid-ask transactions there, and therefore, as a matter of law, the record cannot establish the third prong of Howey test. Ballin'. And then it says Larson and Garlinghouse aiding and abetting matters. It says held questions of fact for a jury to exist, and the case will proceed to trial on this matter with respect to whether Larson or Garlinghouse aided and abetted Ripple's securities law and violations, right? So that's going to trial, and we need to support them, guys. We need to do that. But I hope all of this helped you guys understand this. Just think about this. There's going to come a day where regulation is global, and once banks are here to make money, they've tested the technology. They know how important it is. And do you think they're going to want to hold some XRP on their balance sheets? There's a lot of financial institutions connected to SWIFT. If every one of those banks wanted, you know, 1 million XRP or 500,000 XRP or whatever, there's not enough XRP to go around, right? You can see that a lot of this XRP is either in my wallet, it's not in my wallet, but a lot of our wallets and exchanges. That's kind of what's left, right? And if exchanges can be bought out pretty quickly, if a tidal wave of money comes in, what do you think that does for the price of XRP? Right now, XRP is the only currency on the planet that has clear rules of the road until something else happens, right? I've seen a lot of people talk about Bitcoin, but really quickly, guys, let's just talk about this. When you have BlackRock submitting an ETF for Bitcoin, right? I don't think Gary Gensler has the stones to go after Bitcoin, right? Because you really would have to bring in the people that built the Bitcoin network, and it seems like the US government knows who those people are. So I would say that Bitcoin does have some clarity, because you wouldn't have all of these big conglomerate institutions like BlackRock, Invesco, those type of guys, Bank of America, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch. Those guys are all wanting ETFs because their customers want it. And you know what's great about an ETF for these guys? It's not great for you and me. When you go buy through an ETF, you don't hold the keys, you don't hold the crypto. You hold just it says on your D app that you have 1 Bitcoin in your account. And when you sell that Bitcoin, BlackRock can go ahead and hold on to that, right? And they could just say, hey, I got all these trillions of dollars on the side. I'll just go ahead and pay you, but I want to hold on to the asset because I think it's going to go up in the future. And they would know, wouldn't they? Because they have a lot of knowledge. So I just be careful with an ETF if you're going to go that route. Obviously, talk to a financial advisor, because I'm not one of those, but just trying to give you some input and throughput, guys. I know it's been a longer video, but I hope this was helpful to kind of see where my thoughts are and my head is. I spent a lot of time trying to put this all together for you guys, and I think it's pretty reasonable what I put together. If you think that I kind of screwed up my numbers, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to do that. I was using some AI tools and trying to recheck between the both of them, and I was really trying to establish a very good baseline of how much XRP was in all of these wallets. It's a lot, guys, and it's not all institutions. There's a lot of XRP that are in regular people's wallets that have been holding for a very long time. So if there is a huge supply shock, if US banks want to get in and Ripple cannot sell them XRP, they only have one other place to go get it. It's where you and me buy it. It's called the open market, the secondary market. And that, my friends, could lead us to high prices in the future. I don't know when, guys. FedNow is launching in 3 days. There's only supposed to be like 20 or 50 banks that are hooked up to it to start. And it's going to take some time, right? And that's why I said I don't think XRP is going to go crazy on the 20th. I would love to be wrong, guys, but I'm just trying to be real with you. I'm not your hype master. I'm not going to tell you, things are going to $1 million. Like, no, let's come back to reality. Let's have a good open discussion. Let's have a conversation. I'll see you in the comments, my friends. Thank you so much. And guys, if you need help growing, if you want to come and join my community, Cryptonaires, there's a link down in the description, guys. I will shower you with information on crypto. I will take your knowledge from a 1, 2, or 3, and I'll take it to an 8, 9, or a 10. All right? I'll see you the next time, guys. Thank you so much.